down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
Hey, you tuned into the Savvy Radio Show. Man, I'm excited to just share with you what's going down. Anyway, I just I just finished one of my goals for 2019. Yep. I ran a 26.2 mile marathon in Dallas. It was pretty interesting, and I definitely think you should do all your goals and all your dreams possible. This goal was it was a weird goal that I wanted to do something that was almost beyond stretching. It took 12 months to train, and it wasn't easy. You know, I've did a podcast all way back when, at least 100 episodes ago. It's easier to be a millionaire than it is to run a marathon. And I would almost, after running a full marathon, that was a half a marathon, it just gets easier, just like real estate, just like life. It just gets easier as you continue to grow as a person. And I realized that I thought I prepared. Now, it wasn't as easy as I thought it was. I heard so much from so many people, read so much online that, it's rough, it's hard, and, you're going to hit this wall when you hit 20 miles and so on and so forth. And I tried to prepare as much as possible, but it just wasn't easy for me in the last couple of weeks. Man, I was just kind of, I think, overwhelmed with the stuff going on and in the world of Savvy and just trying to become better. End of the year, doing a couple acquisitions and then still maintaining health and run. And there was a couple times I got super burned out. I didn't even run for a whole week. And then I was like almost trying to give up. But I didn't. I'm glad I didn't, but it wasn't easy because when I did hit that 20-mile mark, I didn't hit the wall. Like mentally, I was like, man, this is legit. I don't know why people are complaining or why they can't get it done. And so anyway, not that I'm some special person, I just didn't understand. Just like life. Like I don't understand why people don't read Rich Dad Poor Dad and buy assets and live the life that they want to live. I mean, they're suppressed. They make choices that only hurt them, and hinder them, not help them and grow. I know this is all over the place, so bear with me here. So anyway, I got to the 20 miles, and it wasn't hard. I mean, mentally I was in, but all of a sudden I started getting some severe pain in my hamstring, my right hamstring, and it was like kind of cramping up, and I was like, oh, I forgot the salt pills. I forgot certain things, and I was kind of bummed, and I did wanted to give up. I did wanted to stop, and in Dallas where I was running, there was scooters everywhere on the side, like the Bird scooter or the Uber scooter. You could just swipe your phone, and the next thing you know, you could be riding on a scooter. But I'm like, I'm going to finish. Hell or high water, I'm going to finish. Well, anyway, I don't know if this is interesting to you, but I did finish. I'm excited. Now, everyone was asking me, would I do it again? And the first thing is like, no, you shouldn't do it. Like hey man, should I do a marathon? No. But, it took me a week. It's a week right now, and I'm just now kind of getting back to normal. But I realized I did walk in the last 3 miles 3 to 4 miles. And, I don't know if I'll ever run one again, probably because I'm weird like that, because I want to run the whole thing. I don't want to, in my mind, I did finish. I do have the cool medal. I do have a little t-shirt that says I'm a finisher on it, and I'm excited, and I can be at parties and be in the 0.00 percentile of no one runs a full marathon. But maybe one day I'll do it again, and really take the training to the next level. And I think that's just life, right? You stumble and fall, you get back up, and you keep going forward. So that's what you need to be doing. You stumble and fall, keep getting up. When you get a letter from an attorney, when your girlfriend or boyfriend breaks up with you, whatever the case may be in your world, your insurance goes up, or you forgot to fight the insurance and you got to wait a whole year and just take it, or when your plumber calls you up and says it's $1,000. You just got to figure it out. You just got to keep going. The thing is, it's the end result. It's the process. It's the process. It's not the end result so much. It's great at the other end. Like, I finished a marathon, but I'm like, there's more. There's more for me. There's more for life. There's more for you. So when I was down there in Dallas, there's one of the favorite places I love to go to. It is Half Price Books. We have one in Oklahoma City. It took them a long time to get one here, but I was down there at the flagship, the Big Daddy Half Price Books. It's on off of Loop 12. You got to go to it. It's bomb. Anyway, I'm in there. And all of a sudden I started like actually getting in pain because I was cramping up. The same day I ran the marathon. And I was like, man, I worked on my body. I'm going to work on my mind. Well, I'm in the clearance section in this bookstore and I came across this book and I'm like, dude, is this Jesus? Or am I just ready for these certain things that just happen? Has this happened to you? I would love to know that, you know, a book comes into your world, or a person, a human, a letter, a text message, and it just speaks to you in a unique way. And this book, I mean, this was in the clearance section, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world, for $3. $3 could change your life. I say that all the time and people don't believe me. And this book is actually, so the cover of the title of this book is called The Balanced Life Experience by Richard E. Gino. And it says a roadmap for having it all. I mean, there's just a lot of cliches, a lot of books. I do this, do that. Well, anyway, I just started flipping through the book and it looked pretty interesting. And I was like, this is interesting. And I didn't look it up on Amazon. I just bought the book and I started reading it and I was like, wow, this is exactly where I need to be in perspective. And I'm going to read this chapter to you. And so the book is out of print. You can get it online. It had a 5-star review. It's an old book. Let me see when it was actually written, so you would have an idea what perspective this guy comes from. 2002. So what is that, 17 years ago? But it was just, it was so impactful for me. In the introduction, he said this one thing. He goes, and I put this on Facebook the other day. It says, it just rocked me. It says, the future you see defines the person you become. So it's all about what design your life. I mean, Jim Rohn says that, and he has a quote on here, which is really cool that, people quote Jim Rohn, who's like my ultimate philosopher favorite. But Jim Rohn says, chapter 1, and he has a quote. It says, Jim Rohn says, values are meant to be costly. If they didn't cost much, we probably wouldn't appreciate the value. Now, just that one line has rocked my world in general. You know, a lot of people have told me through the years that my stuff I bring a lot of value, but the dollar amount, like I charge to, not enough. And and my goal, I was thinking, it doesn't create value. If you're not willing to pay for it, if I give you a free class, you probably wouldn't show. And so that's the situation. Values are meant to be costly. Classes, coaches, they're costly. Just cough it up. And you can get some random stuff like a $3 book, right? But it was costly for me to go there because I was in severe pain. I actually had to pay $12 to Uber from my hotel to the bookstore and then $12 back. So my mind was like $24 to buy a $3 book. See, values are meant to be costly. If they didn't cost much, we probably wouldn't appreciate the value. So you have to look at it like this. I'm like, would I pay $30, $24 there and back, 12 and 12, and the $3 book, so let's say with tax, would I pay $30 that would just change my perspective? Would it change my life? Oh, you bet. I would spend hundreds, thousands maybe. And so chapter 1 says, basic rules for having it all. Determine what matters to you. Define success in all facets of your life. Find ways to enjoy the journey as much as the destination. Take responsibility for your life. I'm telling you, I see a lot of people just continue to not take responsibility. Come on. The reason why you're where you're at is because that's where you're at, because you put yourself there. You want to do well, you got to be well. You got to get well. You got to make it happen. Accept everything that happens to you for a good reason. To have it all, we must first define what all it is for us. Social scientists have written books and given speeches telling us what is important, and too often we simply take the criteria given to us by experts. Ooh, come on. But the first step in the process of having it all is to determine what things matter to you. Man, what matters to me? Life evolves and things change. Man, just the way I think of things now. I mean, even being a real estate investor for 20 years, it's just amazing. When you start thinking about what matters to you, make your criteria broad enough so that you don't have to change them every week. At the same time, each area should be specific enough to be meaningful to you. In a recent exercise for myself, I determined that the 7 criteria for my roadmap to a happy, successful, and fulfilling life are: 1, physical health; 2, mental health; 3, small daily pleasures. I never heard that before. I never heard small daily pleasures. Like, ooh, what does that mean? Is that like a candy bar? Is that a word of encouragement? What's small daily pleasures? Number 4, big occasional pleasures. I guess trips, things like that. 5, financial wealth. I'm in. 6, loving relationships, double in and yes. And 7, wisdom. It is up to you to find a quiet place and determine what will make your life happy and fulfilled. Don't let others make these decisions for you. If you put things on your list because you feel you should, or because you feel guilty if you omit them, then you're letting others determine the list for you. I mean, that's extremely powerful. So what I'm saying may not actually in line to you. So you've got to determine, what is it for you? This is your life. If you are unsure, start out with simple wishes. Examples might include a new car, a new house, a trip to Europe, putting a child through college, $20,000 in the bank, so on and so forth. Once you determine, I'm on page 3 now. Once you determine your criteria for fulfilling life, then you define success for each criterion. Once again, it is your job to define what success is for you. For example, if financial well-being is on your list, it's important that you define it, not someone else's definition. While one person might define financial success as having a net worth of $1 million, another might feel comfortable and happy with an income greater than expenses. Come on. Still, another's financial goal might be to give generously to a charity. Even the term generously needs to be defined specifically. Man, I'm telling you guys, just stuff right here is life change. By determining what is important and defining success in each area, you can live life deliberately. Come on, you can't be haphazard at it. Casual life leads to casualties, Jim Rohn. That's me. Anyway, and he says, second paragraph, each of us can take responsibility for our lives and not be at the mercy of others' circumstances. Is this beginning to sound like work? I promise you this will be simple to understand, but not necessarily easy to do. This is life. It is not a dress rehearsal. The script we write for our lives is the most important creative endeavor we can conceive. That is definitely worth repeating. The script we write for our lives is the most creative endeavor we conceive. This quote right here says, success is a journey and not a destination. Ben Sweetland. Enjoy the journey because the journey is your life. It is also important to have some fun along the way. You may have heard this said many times, but I like these guidelines. Okay, so here's some bullet points here. It says, find work that you love and do it. Determine your daily pleasures and experience them daily. That could be working out, I guess. Have at least one belly laugh per day. The best way to cheer yourself up is to cheer up somebody else. When someone does something good, applaud. You'll make 2 people happy. Man, that's really good. We need to get in the habit of that. When someone does something good, applaud. You'll make 2 people happy. All right, so now we're on page 4 and we're rolling. Responsibility for oneself is critical to success. This is the first fundamental rule of taking charge of your life. If you don't take full responsibility of your own actions and station in life, if you don't take full responsibility for your own actions and station in life, you are at the mercy of others or outside forces. On the other hand, if you take responsibility for your choices, your successes, your failures, and your life, you can live it your way and you can make it better. Some people have problems accepting responsibility for their failures. While they will take credit for their successes, these type of people are in denial. Their unwillingness to accept responsibility for their shortcomings will protrude this behavior, its results, its choices that have brought them to where they are. In job interviews, I always ask the candidate about difficult times, reversals, and problems at previous jobs. Inevitably, the person who takes responsibility for the challenges he or she's faced will succeed. The individual who blames the job, the company, or the boss will also blame the manager or lack of training for his lack of success once he or she joins with us. There are also people who have trouble accepting responsibility for their successes. They belittle their successes by creating luck or any good or positive achievements. This is often criticized by falsely humility. And generally, this means these individuals lack self-esteem and is a challenge to excel in meaningful career with low self-esteem. I used to have that, guys. Years ago, I was a DJ and someone would try to tip me. And I'm like, no, don't tip me. That's my job. See, a low self-esteem. That may be a concern in your world. Definitely, there's so many things written on self-esteem. Nightingale Conan has a ton of great stuff on how to build up your self-esteem, how to understand your self-esteem. I definitely believe if you want to be super successful in whatever you want to do, especially real estate, you have to have a strong self-esteem. You're going to get some knocks on your head, and you're going to just have to pick yourself up and keep rolling. All right, now we're moving on. We're on page 5. Another part of the responsibility is judgment. Accepting that you are responsible for creating your life is not the same as judging yourself as bad, wrong, or stupid, or ending up where you are. If you aren't where you want to be, learn from it. Face the issue, take responsibility, and ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Life prepares us for life. Here's a simple exercise. Look back at all your growth steps over your lifetime. Write them down. Think about this for a minute or two. All right, so when I work with someone, and it's interesting, it doesn't matter if it's a CEO for a huge oil company or a young high school kid that needs direction. I always do this, and I'm like, you got to make a success book. And people are like, what's that? Get a 3-ring binder, put some page protectors in there, and slide in stuff that you have learned from in your experience. Some successes from even some failures. So if you're ever in Oklahoma City, you're ever by my office, I'll show you some success books that I have. And inside them, they're like the day that I got an account with UPS. Also in that book is a letter, my very first letter I got sued on a copyright infringement, and just the most random stuff, and some great successes, some failures. But see, you write them down, and you take this experience of how you got here. And it's also a wonderful resume for you CEOs or people that want to propel in their career and you want to move on, and you can show someone. It's also could be a credibility kit for you. Could be deals that you've done. So take the time, and this is worth repeating. It says, if you aren't where you want to be, learn from it. Face the issues, take responsibility, and ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Life prepares us for life. Here are a small exercise. Look back at all your growth steps. Get a success book over your lifetime. Write them down. Think about them. And so my wife and I, we do this at the end of the year. What went well this year? I can't believe. And then when you go back like 4 or 5 years, I can't believe we lived here. I can't believe we did this. I can't believe we lost this. And a lot of people don't know that not all everything that I do is successful. I have failed miserably in a lot of things. One of my dreams was to host a motivational seminar with Brian Tracy, and it failed. I didn't sell any tickets. I mean, it's not everything you think it is. It's not always roses, but those experiences will pull you through. That if you can endure that, man, there's pretty much, you can do anything. Chances are that most of those growth steps occurred out of difficulty, a challenge, or even a tragedy. Rarely at the time of the event did it seem like a positive experience. It is usually steeped in pain or in suffering. However, after the pain has subsided, you can look back and realize that tremendous growth has come from adversity. I have concluded that everything happens for a good reason. When I look back over the 5 or 6 biggest growth steps of my life, I note that they all came out of adversity and challenge. 15 years ago, I started recognizing this. Sometimes it would take me 5 or 10 years before I understood this process. In recent years, I have gotten the message in weeks or days or instead of years. Now, when I face a negative events, challenges, frustrations, I ask myself immediately, what am I supposed to learn from this experience? I now experience scores of growth lessons yearly. So take responsibility. Don't judge yourself. Ask yourself, what can you learn from your adversities and challenges? Once you take responsibility for your actions, behaviors, and outcomes, you can start to take control of your life. This is your life. You determine what's important to you. You define success. You define what success is to you. Define the journey. Take responsibility for your life and make life a learning experience. Page 6, and we're wrapping up here. For the individual who thinks this sounds like too much you, I bring you attention to the religious historical guides. Love thy neighbor as thyself. While most people concentrate on the first 3 words, the last 2 words simply that one must truly love oneself in order to love another. Come on. I mean, you got to take care of yourself. Jim Rohn is a big component of this. If you're not healthy, how can you help somebody else? If you're not wealthy, how can you help somebody else, right? They say that on an airplane. You know this. Please put the oxygen mask on yourself first, then before the person next to you or your child. You gotta take care of your body. You got to take care of your mind. You got to set your goals. While most people concentrate, okay, I'll get over that. God helps those who help themselves. I don't know if that's in the Bible, but God gave us free will. We must take control of our lives. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Hardly days go by that I do not say this to myself. If we have sincerity, real self-esteem, and self-confidence, courage, energy, and talent, and wisdom applied, acknowledged, and experienced, we can indeed live a happy and meaningful life. Anyway, so that was not me. That was Richard E. Gino, and it's the book called The Balanced Life Experience, a roadmap for having it all. You can get it on Amazon. I saw one new copy on there. I think it's out of print. You can find it anywhere, abooks.com. Chapter 2. If you like this material, maybe I'll read some more of it. To me, it's really empowering me and getting me to dial in and focus. What is this all really about? And I love chapter 2 already. It says, by Napoleon Hill, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Come on, you know this. Napoleon Hill. If you don't know this, get Think and Grow Rich. But let's say it again slow. Whatever the mind of man can achieve and believe, it can achieve. I remember being lost and in and out of junior colleges just by myself. Just read Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I remember cutting classes to read Napoleon Hill. It's a life change. Whatever the mind of a man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So let's just wrap up with this last and final one from the very first word that I read from the intro. It says, the future you see defines the person you become. Anyway, my name is Stephen VanCauwenbergh. You tuned into the Savvy Radio Show, SavvyInvestors.com. We're changing and growing. We're going to the next level. We're working on personal development first, and then the money will flow. Have a great day. Whatever you do, give somebody a hug today. Remember, make someone else happy. You be happy, and go buy assets.
What is the Savvy Boot Camp? Are you struggling to get to the next level as a business owner, as an investor? Do you want to multiply your income? Sign up for the Savvy Boot Camp, a strategic and supercharged one-night and one-day event designed to shortcut your learning process and propel you forward. Just value, no upsells, and an intimate setting to build relationships with like-minded investors. We will be covering how personality profiling can make you a millionaire, outsourcing and the nitty-gritty of maximizing your property management, scaling your business through systems and automation, technology hacks you should be using every day, and how to raise private money. Go to www.savvybootcamp.com now to register or to find out more.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at SavvyRadioshow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook and always be buying assets.